Want to welcome everyone to Class 2 of the Theme Design course. Does anyone have any questions? Can everyone hear me though? Caldoon can. Hello, Caldoon. Okay, so the question is, you have the Home Edition and of Artisteer, and when you click on it, or when you go to the top offset, you see that the more top offset is grayed out. Okay, so I'm not aware of that, the limitations of that version. It may be for the top offsets, you're going to need to upgrade that version. Does anyone else have a home version that's having those issues with the top offsets? That's good to know, though, that because I don't have that version. Okay, I guess no one else is having that particular issue. Julie says that hers only goes to 100 and not 200 offset. Okay. Could probably change that. I would imagine in let's take a look at the CSS style sheet just for a second here. Let's see if we can. Let's get over to a test. Well, let's just log in here. What the heck? Let's log in and see if we have a top offset in the CSS style sheet that we can mess around with. Okay, let's go over to style sheet. I'm going to go ahead and just copy this out to Notepad in case I trash the style sheet. I'll be able to recover. And I think that all we need to do is look for top offset. It may or may not be in the style sheet. So I'm just guessing that it's in the style sheet. I would imagine that it is. Position left, top. That's on the block quotes. Okay, so let's see, button wrappers. I would imagine that would be somewhere on the main style sheet because it is the main style. So background position, top left, fixed, and then repeat. Let's see if it has a 200 pixel because I think this one is set for margin top. Okay, here it is, right here. On the art sheet, you should be able to find this right here, margin top. If you go into your CSS style sheets, you could probably change this. If you could only go to 100, you could. I would imagine you could go ahead and change it. I wonder if you could even jam it down even further. Let's just try 300 and see if it moves down, because that would be interesting to see. Now it's set right there at 2. So I guess that would be something that you'd have to check out. Oh, come on, now we got a database error. Wasn't that top earlier? Somehow it got messed up. So let's just see if this works. Well, we may have just crashed the site there. So I'm not sure. Or the site's just having problems. But I can't believe the site's offline just because of one change in the CSS style sheet. But it is. They're establishing a database connection. So I guess that, that's what happens if you change the style sheet. I'd have to play around with, with that to see exactly what's going on. But I've got a backup there, so I'll be able to get this up and operating here shortly. But this is what happens with database. And you saw it live, so I play around with it on a test site before I went and tried. I should probably have done that, but hindsight's always 20/20. I can't believe the whole database got trashed just because of. Oh, there we go. So it was. I don't know what the problem is with HostGator here lately. They're having some real problems with their servers. I've had 3 or 4 of them go offline and stay offline for a while. So if we go to editor and then the style sheet, let's go down and see if we can. I thought it was 200 pixels in the style sheet. Was I wrong on that? I think it was under art, wasn't it? Art post. Art button wrapper. I don't think it was a button wrapper. It's not finding it under 200 though, I don't think. 200 pixels. I don't know. So now it won't find it. If we go out here to our, let's just take a look at what we saved here. And do 200. Let's just see if we can find something with 200. So I can't find it in that. I was sure that it found it. I don't know. See, that's, here it is, margin top. Margin top. Okay, so if we change this to 300, we'll try it again. It may trash the database again. I don't know what's up with this. Change that. So it didn't move it down. It didn't move it down to 300. Oh, it did move it down. Look at that. Okay. So that's an easy way now we can, so we're not limited by artist here. So if you can get to 100, you should be able to go to 200 very easily. See, that just changed that, dropped it right down. Good to know. So the margin top is the place you can find that. If it lets you find it. So we'll go margin. I'm not sure what the syntax is on that. But we did see it a minute ago for margin top. For some reason it won't find 200 pixels again. Maybe there's a space in there. Let's just try 200. Just get, there it is, margin top right there. So margin dash top. So we can just change that, do an update file, and that will move this to back and forth. So, all right, that's good to know. So on your, you have to change it manually in your CSS file. So you go down as far as you can, and then just go ahead and shove it down a little bit further just using that manual, just CSS file. But make sure you do a backup of your CSS file. Okay, any other questions, concerns? We're all on the same page. Did anyone create any designs over the last week? Kind of play around with it? No? Yes? Okay. Okay, let's let me show you what I did just on, we're getting ready to, Katwana and I get ready to launch this out. This is a themes package. We have membership site. So I took this theme that we cut out the left block and the right block and put them in, dropped a black background in, and then created a transparent sheet. Now, the transparent sheet didn't work very well for the sales page. I mean, you could see it, but it was really difficult to pull out some of the lettering, even though the lettering, we chose the lettering as white. It does stand out from the background, but it gets kind of convoluted as this because there's so much black in here. So we went ahead and dropped this in to a white background and then just outlined it with the general theme and put the sales page together. So I'm going to show you a technique that you can design these themes. Now there is a way to incorporate multiple themes into one site. I'm not going to go into that here because it's really it's a struggle because you have to put all of your style sheets and all of your calls to image files. And because Artistry makes the same image file or calls it the same thing, you've got to go through and make sure that all the images that are called are named in that particular file. So you have to have two names. What I usually do is I have one file with a lowercase I for images and one file with an uppercase I for images. If I have two themes, I don't do more than two themes. But it gets really ugly. So, and why would you do this? The only reason you'd want to do this on one site is you have a sales page with no columns and no header. And if you had a membership site or you wanted customers to download the product and you wanted to have the back-end site with a sidebar, then it's pretty much impossible to do when you only have one theme and it has no sidebar to start with, no header, no sidebar. So the theme for the site is pretty much set in stone. Plus it has a white page on it, so all of your pages are going to be white. Well, I didn't want that for the main site. I wanted the transparent page again. I only wanted this for the sales page. So a real easy way to get this to work without having to jump through a bunch of hoops is to WordPress sites. On the same, you have a top-level domain. So on this particular site, it's called Blog Theme Store, and then and this is the sales page. All we have here is privacy policy contact page and then the sales page. Nothing else is going on. You could do some posts out in the background if you wanted to just keep the activity level up and keep the search engines hitting it. But the main thing that we do is we promote these through a general offering. It gets a lot of traffic early on and then it gets indexed fairly quickly. So I don't really want to keep the traffic coming with background posting. So then the regular site or the member site that's going to download the package or download your product, you can do very easily using a subdomain, which we did. So here's the subdomain, and we call that members. So, on this particular, well, let's go over here to this site. It's the first page. This is the download themes page that we're working with right now. So you see how this is transparent, and it has a right sidebar. Now you can see the leaf through the transparency of the sheet here, but and you can see the product. So it's real easy to get to the product. These links don't work yet, but they would be hyperlinked to your product. And then, of course, you've got your privacy, your contact us, and then if it's a membership site, you'll have your member login. So you've got your sales page right here. So it's exactly the same theme, only the sales page is white. And then you create your second WordPress site with your members area. So the members area is exactly the same thing, other than the fact that the sheet is now transparent. And as this sheet grows, we add more products here, it'll be able to scroll up and down, and you guys have seen that. So how do we do this? Okay, the first thing I want to do is I want to go over the members area here and tell you that the artist here, we lost the database again. Boy, this is becoming a real problem with HostGator. I don't know what their deal is. But anyway, on Download RealDraw Pro right here, you'll have, there is a link to the setup file for RealDraw Pro. So if you go out onto the site, click on that, you'll be able to download that file when HostGator gets their act together and gets this site back up and running. So once you get that, we're going to be in RealDraw Pro, and you'll have your setup as you normally would. So you just want to go to your RealDraw Pro, and then you can do your layout under View, Load, and then you'll load that file. And it will give you your canvas, which will just be your block out here. It'll give you the outline, the color, and the effects. Okay, so that's exactly what you want. Now, all I did on this particular setup was I brought in the graphic. So let's just get the graphic here. So I brought this in, I went full size on it, and then all we do for our project is just trim canvas. So we trim the canvas here, and then I just drop lettering in. So remember, we had our lettering out here, and you'll need to choose what you want for your style. Some good lettering to start off would be impact, obviously. So you can choose impact. You want to make it fairly large, 65 or 70. I lost that. Sorry about that. Clicked on the wrong button, but impact. And let's go somewhere here. So let's just say title goes here. And then you can choose, if it's really long, you can left justify it, you can center it, or right justify it. I just leave it on left. Now it's going to be black because it is the same color as the background. So you want to right click, and all I did here was I just picked a color. Let's just do this. Let's make it a little bit orange, more orange. Let's just do something like that. Okay. So, and I want this a little bit bigger, so all you have to do is grab it and pull it out. And then all I do on these is I just do a copy. I want to do another line of text, and then I just do a paste. And that just goes on top. So I can pull this down here now. And then I want to change this style. I do not want this style down here the same. So let's grab something else. Let's see, Rockwell. Rockwell condensed doesn't look bad. Let's see how that looks. No, I don't care for that too much. You've got to, this is what takes a little bit of time. You got to kind of see what looks good for you. Broadway, I always like Broadway. It's a little bit too big, so let's drop it down a little bit here. And change the text to tag line goes here. And let's just get rid of the 3 dots on this, which is continuing. And we'll just do that on the tagline. Now you want to stagger this a little bit so it makes it look a little bit more appealing. So now the thing that I like to do is I like to apply my the things that like my bevel and my drop shadow and thing at the same time. Now how you can do that is just come outside of your frame, hold down your mouse, and just grab your text. And this will grab everything. Now if you want to group it together, all you have to do is Object, Grouping, and then group it, and it will group your text. Now you can apply whatever effect that you want. So it doesn't really need a drop shadow. You can't see a drop shadow, but it does give this a little bit more depth. So I'm going to put a drop shadow on it, and I'll show you why in just a second because we're going to make copies. And I'm going to bevel this. So we do a smooth bevel, and then we back that off a little bit so it's a little more rounded, and we get some really neat lighting on it. See how that lighting comes down in here? Okay, so it looks good just the way it is, and let's ungroup it because I want to change the colors. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change this color to more of a yellow. I want this to stand out a little bit more. So let's see how that just jumps off the page. So title goes here, tagline goes here. All he did was pick this yellow up in this leaf right here, or wing, or whatever it is on this thing. Okay, so what we can do now is we can make copies of this and give it a lot more depth. So all we have to do is just say copy. We got to grab both of them, do a copy, and then do a paste, and that'll give it a little bit more depth. And you can see here, see how we've got it, another one, and this will have another one here also. So you see how this is a little flatter. It's not going to give it a whole lot more depth, and some of them really changes. So let's group it again and just do copy and paste. So it just pasted the line over here. So that's really all you need to do on these things. Now this is the background. So again, your tagline, you want your overall site, when you're designing your site, to float above your tagline. So you see, you want this to, your title floats above the tagline here, which is theme design, floats above your 200 pixels. And we just went over how you can drop this main site down to the for more than 200 pixels if you need it. So now all we do is we just do an export, a bitmap export, and we save this at 100% quality. And the rest of these you can just keep the same. So all of these by default are just leave them the same. You want to choose JPEG. You can choose bitmap, PNG, or some of these other formats if you'd like, but JPEG works the best, and it gives you really good quality. And then you just do an export, and that's your background. Okay, real easy to do. Any questions on that? Questions, concerns? So Jeff asks, is there a way to mirror the text below the letters? There is. I'm not going into the mirroring this week. You can mirror it, you can reverse it. That's a little bit more of an advanced technique, but we can do that. We're going to go over that next week. This week, I'm just going to show you how to do graphics and build multiple layers on your sites, and also do the sales page and the separate sites. So you know how to do that. So, you know, there's no alchemy here. It's just simply two separate sites. Again, you've got your sales page, and then you have your second site. So even though you're using the same theme, and you know, you go into Artisteer, and one theme will be transparent, and you've got your sidebar, and you save that, and then you just simply you know, open up your next theme, which is going to be let's save this theme, and go back over to the sales page theme, which is essentially just the white. And all I did on here was, as you see, we went to layout. I did the page layout, which is simple and no columns, or one column, excuse me. And then, you know, we already had our colors set up. So we've got the oranges and the colors that fit with this background. Now you can do a lot more with this. It's just simply go to sheet. Now I think we had about a 20% transparency on this at one time. So, you know, if we go like, we just barely put a little bit of transparency out here so that we could see it. So you can see the transparency here, and then you can, you know, change your fill colors however you want, whatever you want to do there. But on this one, we picked no transparency so that it's white, so that the sales page stands out. On the border, we already had the border. The border on this was originally at 5. I don't like this big 5-pixel border. You choose your own, though, however you want to do it. I think I came down to 2. Just a hint of a border works for me. And of course, you fix your background so that it slides in your options. So go to background options. Instead of scrolling, choose fixed, and then now your area out here will go ahead and slide over the fixed background. So you put your lettering up here, and that's essentially how I built that theme out. Very easy to do. Probably took less than 30 minutes to do both of those things. Then of course you upload them to your sites, and of course your sales page will be on your top level domain. Again, your other page, the page that we're choosing to use for our membership site, which has the transparency here, is located under members. You can go ahead and do whatever you want there. You can make it an add-on domain. You can make it another top level. But I don't want to spend any more money, so I basically made it a subdomain, and I just, you know, only members will get access to this page, and then I just lock it down with my membership plugin. Pretty easy. Any questions? Everyone understand exactly how to do that? Anyone do not understand how to do that? Okay. Very good. So let's get started on doing some advanced stuff in here. So we're really going to concentrate on the graphics part of things today. So I'm going to show you how to do graphics, titling, and bringing in themes and changing backgrounds and doing some things like that, shading and drop shadows and you know, beveling and things like that. The mirroring and some of the other more advanced things we're going to go into later on. So I don't want to get you too confused too quickly. But this program is very powerful. You can just do a number of things with it. Well, let's start with the new canvas. Any other questions before we get started? We're good? Everyone on the same page? Okay. So we start with our local canvas. And remember, you go ahead and import your setup under View, Layout, and then Load. So you load that. So you'll have your outline. Load that file. You have your outline. You know, your color in the upper left, bottom left, and then your bevels, transparency, effects in your lower right, because you're going to, for backgrounds, you're going to use the whole thing. Okay, now for a very simple background. Okay, let's say we have a site and we have a PLR site and we want to do the background in here. Okay, we start off with a simple size and color of 300 by 300. So make sure that your 300 by 300, it's cube size. We're going to come over to our rectangle here, and we're just going to choose the rectangle tool, not rounded tool, but the rectangle tool. We're going to get our little cursor and put it right up here in the top left-hand corner and then draw down. So we have another box on top of our canvas. Now we can make this any color that we want. So, just pick a color. And that's really our background for our site. Now we want to put lettering on here. You see this all the time on PLR products. You want to put lettering on here. Very easy to do. We just choose our lettering tool, and I choose again Impact. Very easy to read. We don't want to get too large with this. And we'll just drop this in and pull this out a little bit. Now, you want complementary colors or things that will stand out. So let's choose a yellow. Blue and yellow go well together. So let's just pick a yellow here. Let's see how that just jumps right off the blue. And of course, you can come over here, click on the palette, and change this just by using this slider, or choose this yellow in the blocks and make it more or less intense. It's strictly up to you. Now I want this text, this is going to be a background image, so I want this text to go across the back here. Let's go over here to Artist here and get us a clean canvas. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to put a drop shadow on this, so I'm going to choose my effects, and I'm just going to put a drop shadow. See how that gives it a little 3D effect in there? Now I'm going to give it a little bit more depth by simply doing what I did before. I'm going to just copy it, and I'm going to do another paste, and it pastes it right on top. See how it came up just a little bit more. Now we have two images. It's just so much easier to get rid of it instead of try to put it exactly back up on the top. Now I'm going to take this image and I'm going to bevel it just a little bit. I'm going to do a smooth bevel on it. And my bottom slider goes way over here to the left. Top slider way over to the right. And see that gives it a little bit of shading. Now I want this whole thing to turn. I want it to go from corner to corner at a diagonal. So I'm going to grab both and I'm going to group them. So we want to Object, Group, and just group them. Now what I can do here is I'm going to spin them. Okay, so we want to get our tool right here, which is Rotate. Click on a Rotate tool, and then just rotate this like so. There we go. Now we got to go back to our pointer, and then we can move this anywhere we want. It's probably a little bit too much rotation, so let's grab our rotation tool again, spin it back a little bit, grab our arrow, and I want it to go from corner to corner, so I'm just going to pull this out. Okay, so we've got our background now with our text goes here. Now I'm just going to save that. I'm going to export this as a JPEG. Well, let's put this out in Thought I had a background. I was in the backgrounds, wasn't I? Okay, let's just do this for test. I'm not going to keep this for very long. We just throw this away. And we'll call this test 1. Okay, so we've got our theme up. Let's just go with the colors, and let's go over more with a orange or yellow. See how that looks. Not too great. Something with a blue in it. Okay, just for the heck of it. There's our blue. Now we want to drop this whole background out. All we do is we just choose our background from File. Go to our Backgrounds, Test Image. Here's our background. Now we want to tile this. So let's just choose Tile. So it will tile all the way across. And then, of course, your sheet, you're probably going to get rid of your transparency so you can't see that. And that's exactly how they do it for the HTML sites. You just make your background with your text in here, 300 by 300, and just tile it. And very simply just drops in and goes all the way across the page like that. I'll show you a couple of examples of that. I'm sure you've seen them. Let's see. I think it's on my WP padlock. See what I did here? I kept this a little bit of I used some transparency on here so it comes through just a little bit, but all I did was WP padlock, and then I put my tagline underneath. It's a 300 by 300 block, and then I just simply tiled it. Very easy to do. And then I took this page and just let it scroll over the page. You can see the background just slightly, which gives it a real nice effect. But that's exactly how you do it. Okay, any questions? Pretty easy stuff. Everyone getting it? Nothing too hard? Am I still, everyone can hear me? Okay, real good. Everyone's has that. Okay, that's a simple background. Now you can do the same thing with textures, and how I do textures is one, you can do this on Artist here very easily. So let's just choose a background, and let's go grab an image or a texture. If you find a texture you really like in here, I like some of the cloth textures. Let's just say, see what that looks like. Okay, all you have to do, if you like this background and you want to use it for other things or change it, it's like you like this background, but you want to put some lettering on it. All you have to do, again, is just use your copy and paste function, your fast stone capture or whatever else you're using. Just grab a block. It doesn't even matter how big it is. Just grab your block, do a save as. We're going to go to our backgrounds. I'm going to use this as test 2. Okay, so we've captured the texture we want. We want a new block in here. Again, we want it 300 by 300, so project size and color, 300 by 300. We go out and we grab our image. So just go over here to insert bitmap, grab our image that we just captured, test 2. and bring that in. It doesn't even matter what size it is, because what we're going to do is we're just simply going to trim canvas, and boom, it should, well, it actually went a little bit bigger. So let's just go back down here to 300 by 300. And then as close as we can get this. It doesn't matter if you make it a little bit bigger, because all we're going to save is 300 by 300. So I want to make sure that that fits on the box. I'm going to show you a real simple little technique. Let me spread this out a little bit. Okay, good. Grab our text, impact again, or whatever you want to use. It's strictly up to you. Now let's just use Broadway. Use something different. And get a little bit bigger here. So that black looks really good on that background. I don't think there's going to be anything, we're going to change anything there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and do a drop shadow on that. Effects, drop shadow. See how that puts it right off the canvas there? And I'm not going to bevel this. I'm going to copy it. And I'm just going to drop another one on top of it. See how that made it just jump off the page even more? So we'll just go ahead, grab the whole text. We're going to group it together. And we're just going to use our rotator and rotate this. And let's move it down. A real easy way to do this is just put this guy right here and then just slide this over. Okay, we go to save this. It's only going to save the 300 by 300. Anything that's excess and hanging off will get basically get snipped. Anytime the computer wants to come around here, it's still caching. See how that it got rid of the extra there? So we're 300 by 300 JPEG, and there's our text. All we do is save that. Now, when you bring it back in, all you have to do, well, let's just go ahead and do that so you get an idea. Everyone's on the same page. We're just going to save this. I'm just going to overwrite the test 2. Go back into Artist here. And see, we've got the plain background. And all we're going to do is just change this. So we're going to go from File. And we're going to grab our image. And it'll insert it top left by default. And then we're just going to tile it. So see how it drops in there and it just tiles. We could probably do a little bit better with this by making it maybe a little bit bigger. Too much. See how this fits. Okay, we're going to have to rotate that down a little bit. See how that is? Now, you can use your arrow keys and just do simple little moves just using your arrow keys. Now, drop in this over the top. Export it. Go grab the new one. See how it jumps off the page now. Maybe too black because your eye goes there, but you get the idea. You can play around with these and get these down to where they're real easy to do. Of course, sheet transparency about 60%. You can see this now through, see the background through there, and now you're able to see it. Of course, lock your, unless you want it to move like that, strictly up to you, but lock your background, and then it will scroll, and your background stays the same. And you can do just a number of different things with this. So you can tile different backgrounds, and what I do is I go out on WordPress sites and I grab really nice looking backgrounds all the time. Just go grab a snippet of it, and then once you save that for whatever texture, and you can use it for a number of different themes, and they'll all be different. I did this quite a bit on my World of Warcraft sites, changed the backgrounds. Okay, any questions on that? Real easy to put a 300-300 block on the background, import it, and you're all set. Pretty simple. Anyone does not get that, how to do that? Okay. The next thing we're going to do, let's just close down some of these windows. Get a new project. Now let's do a header and bring in multiple objects. So let's start off here somewhere around 850. And for headers, I like to be right around 250. I don't like really big headers. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to drop a number of objects on this to create a fairly complex graphic. So you start off again with your project, size and color, 850 width, 250. That's what I like for headers. Of course, if you choose whatever you like. If you like 700, 750, whatever it is, or even bigger, you can go up to 900, 1,000, or whatever for your header. Okay, now we're going to go grab objects. So let's go out here and see what we have on our photos. Okay, let's go bring the hacker in. So let's bring him down a little bit. I brought this down to 393, 429, so it's a little bit smaller. And of course, you can do the same thing here. You can drop this down a little bit. Let's go grab another file. The whole idea that this theme is going to be around hackers, computer hackers, something like that, because I just grabbed the file. So what we're going to do, there's a keyboard, so we'll grab a keyboard. It's 100%, so we're going to grab this keyboard. This is going to be our background image. So we're going to make this fairly big. Okay, so maybe not so tall. Let's see what else we can drop in here. Well, I was hoping to find a chain. Let's just grab WordPress and we'll make that our last image on this particular thing. Okay, so actually I don't care for that too much. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna grab a chain and lock. I think I've got them out on my See, this is the chain and the lock that I'm looking for right there. So there's a, keyboard and chain and lock, so we're going to do something like this. But I want to show you how to build it. And those images, I might have to search around with them. I tried to do a little bit of this before, but then I thought we'll just play it by ear so you can see exact process that I go through in finding these kinds of images. If I can't find it fairly quickly, then we'll just we'll go out to Google and grab a couple real fast. I'm not recommending that for you guys. Got to make sure that they're not copyright images. Most of the images that I have here I've pulled down off of either WordPress sites or other sites that I've known that the images are not protected, not copyrighted. So we've got a computer thief. I'm looking for that. There we go. Keyboard with the padlock. That'll do it. Okay. That's over in my photos. Okay, so let's drop that in on RealDraw so that looks good. And go over here and grab that file that we just saw, which is keyboard, I believe. .425. Okay, let's get rid of this big dude. All right, this is going to be my background, essentially. So let's pull this out a little bit. Kind of spread it out. Make sure that will fit. Maybe a little bit smaller. Okay, so what we're going to do here is going to recreate what I did in the other. So we're going to put this guy down in the corner right here. You see how that went behind the keyboard? Now how we can choose our layers is simply just going here and see how that comes to forward or it drops to back. So we move it forward or drop it back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cause this to be a little bit of transparency. So I want it to get a little bit lighter. So how we do that is we go to Effects, go to Transparency, and then we just have a slider. You want to make sure that you're on, that you're on the correct image when you do this. It's not that it's totally unrecoverable, but you get the general idea. So pull that out a little bit. We're going to put our lock, just kind of hang it over. As you can see, here's our regular header here in the background. So we're going to make this a little bit transparent and put this hacker here. And let's move it to the foreground. Okay, real good. Now let's put a black background on this. So let's just grab a rectangle, start in this corner, and then just pull it down. Choose our color, and choose this color right here. And I'm going to send that to the back. A little transparent. Okay, I'm going to move this block. Let's move it forward and see. No, that's too much. So we go back one layer. Now I think we need to come forward. I don't like that transition too much. Okay, that's not little gradient in there. We want to move this up. You see the black line up here? We want to move this up. Just use the arrow keys. We can move these very easily. I want to see the black on the side. I want to get rid of that. So we take a look at this. Now we've got our keyboard. It's a little bit transparent. We've got our hacker in here. Now let's put some text on here. So we hit our text object. And like I did on that last one I showed you, let's just go to impact, go up to maybe 60 or so. Stop hackers cold, okay? That's gonna be black by default, so let's just pull this out. And let's make it a color that is right off his glasses. Let's make it like a gold. Maybe a little bit more yellow. There, that jumps off the page. Okay, now it's not going to really help us, I don't think, to put a drop shadow on here, but we will anyway, so I just want to make sure that you know how to do these things. You can do a drop shadow. You're not going to see it too much, but you can do these other things too. There's a sun shadow. You see how that is reflected on the bottom? See right here? It's a real easy way to drop a shadow in, and it gives us kind of a mirror like what Jeff was asking a minute ago. Real fast way to do that, by the way, without having to mirror the image. Here's the glow, so you put another color around there, so you can choose your colors. You want it red, you can do that. See that red really jumps off the page. Red and yellow go well together, so you got your glow. Halo really puts it, so he puts the color around it. Let's move it out here so you can see it a little bit more. Inset, the cutout feature. Inset in shadows, so it makes it stand out a little bit more. The knockout. And then you can change these too, so you can make it, just do your sliders. Nothing that says you cannot, change these around. And here's your gradient. See how it moves that? Right over here, it moves the shadow up underneath this, drop gradient. Sparkle. Everything disappears on that guy. Magnifying lens. Upside down. Not sure what that does. I've never used upside down. Ripple. Didn't do anything either. Fisheye. Maybe we have, there's no effect, okay. So anyway, you get the idea. So there's just a number of different techniques you can do. You can also choose down here. You could put this, see how that drop goes on it, the drop here. You want to get rid of that, just go back and it gets rid of everything on the left-hand side. These are shadows down here on your shadows and effects. Again, on the bottom, lighter, a little bit more spread out. So very powerful program. It's just basically hitting, a button and it does this for you. So see how this moves the shadow a little bit further away. And let's say you want to change that shadow a little bit more. So you can do this. You can do the sliders. See how it gets lighter, darker, moves it further away, closer in. Spreads it out a little bit further. See how it looks like it's standing off the page a little bit more. Okay, so and the outline, you can do outlines on this, which is another great little feature. You can put an outline, so you can choose outline and then just put a solid outline on it and then choose your color. If you want something like red, see how that does that over here. It's a lot like the this feature that we just had over here on the drop shadows. But this is an actual outline that goes around your characters. Thick outline, see how that, boy, that's really makes that jump off the page. Soft, and it softens it out. And blurred. So just a hint that's there. I like the soft outline. Let's go with that, and let's put a bevel on it and see how. Let's change that a little bit. So okay, let's put the bevel on it and see how that makes it look. If that makes it look any better. Kind of gives it a little bit of a three-dimensional effect. See, that kind of stands off the page a little bit. And let's change the light source. We can change this just by moving this. I'll see how that changes everything. Just by moving this. It's very unnatural for light to be coming from the bottom, because light in the real world never comes from below. It's called ghoul lighting when you light from below like that. So that probably is a little bit, gives it a little bit more shape. So we've got, I want to take this sharp edge here and kind of smooth it out. So how can we do that? Well, we can do that very easily by using our transparency. And instead of using flat, let's just do something like this. And then we have a slider. So we can slide this out. See how that the edges really kind of blend in, and we go from dark to the image itself. So we don't really get this sharp edge. It just kind of blends into the background. You see some of the keyboard there is just blending into his face. See, so we drop that out. So now we've got Stop Hackers Cold, the keyboard, the lock, and our bad guy here that's blended. You see, and everyone see how we did that? Went from flat, and of course we're a little bit. So we went from this, so you can see that high and that sharp angle right here, to bilinear. Again, we've got to pick our object. And then there's a slider right here. You can slide this back and forth to change this. That looks good, I think. So we've got this kind of fading in, Stop Hackers Cold, and then we may want to drop this out a little bit more on our background. There, I think that works. And then we can drop in, let's just say we put in, you know, our tagline, and you could even drop in, you know, something down in here, which let's just do a rounded box just for the heck of it. Let's go round. That's probably too much. It's taking up a lot more room than I wanted. I forget about the rounded box. Let's just do a tagline. A bit too crazy with this. And we'll grab Broadway here again. Nice little text. Come down a little bit. And we can spread this out very easily. And I like red for this, so let's just pick let's just go to our color palette, grab red, and let's put a little bit of a shadow on it. See how that even though that shadow is a black background, see how that just jumps off the page? See, it's real flat. It gives it a three-dimensional effect, see, just by one. So let's just do a copy of that and a paste. Let's even do a small bevel on it, see if the bevel makes it look. That really looks good. And then you could do something in here, another color, or you could just go ahead and make this, pull this down a little bit. And bring this up so you fill in that big spot. Oop, we got two of them. Forgot about that. Get rid of that. Copy this. Paste it. And then do the bevel. There we go. Now I want to save this guy, so bitmap export. We've got that big old sharp line down through here though, so we need to get rid of that. So let's drive this to the back a little bit further. In fact, what we can do here again to cause this line to be a little bit more blurred is to, there we go, take that out. See how that gets rid of that sharp line? Kind of fades it around the edges. Sharp line now gone. Got our lock. Got our keyboard. Let's see what it looks like. Now let's put it in our backgrounds over on our PC, not on the external drive. Just call it hacker header. Let's get a new sheet up here. Drop that header in. Going to resize. Get rid of the headline, slogan, and any of the special effects that that particular theme has. And then we can simply just choose our colors. For this to be obviously a dark background. We don't have anything that's red, that's more orange. Orange doesn't go with it. Now we want the dark. Let's see the blue, if the blue goes with it any. That jumps off the page, but I don't really care for that too much. Well, in this case, we'll just have to change it. So that probably is the closest thing. And then what I would do on this is I take the sheet. I would go no transparency. I would take the padding for the header, take it all the way out to the edge. Same thing with the footer. It should take it out to the edge. And on this background, I would probably go with just a standard black. Let's just see what something in the background would look like. There's a black, and then we can do a simple gradient. There's a bottom up, there's a top down, a little bit more right here. Yeah, I think that might work. Let's see if we can fix the background instead of scroll it. So some of it fixes, some of it stays in place. And then on this, what I would do is I'd change these, on the blocks, I'd change the menu headers. Let's see, styling. Let's just see what that looks like with no block on it. Let's even take the sheet and turn it. Well, if we go with 100%, let's see where that leads us. You know, that's not too bad right there. That doesn't look bad at all. And then what I do is I'd probably take and turn these this side, which is content blocks. So if we go with fill on this, if we put a dark fill in on it, and then the background, which is going to be, again, another dark fill. See, that makes it stand out, I think, a little bit more. Get rid of the date, author, edit, category, tags, comments. Might want to put a little bit more of a line around there just to kind of separate it a little bit, which is transparency. So we want to if we bring this up a little bit, or bring it down, let's just 94%. Let's see what that looks like. See, it gives us a little bit of an edge around here for the sheet. Let's put a shadow on it or a glow. Let's see if that kind of separates it. So that makes it stand off the background a little bit more. See how flat that is? If we do that, see it kind of separates this from the background a little bit more. Footers, I always change the RSS buttons. And I put a gradient on it or something on it to give it some texture. I don't think that looks too bad. It's a blue with a black, and then you've got the yellow and the red up here. This yellow I may want to change and work with a little bit, but I think that looks okay for real quick site. That would you could sell a site like this with products on it probably very, very easily. Okay, any questions on that? So we combined a number of different elements. So you see the lock, the padlock, the keyboard. We've got the text, and we've got the hacker person. No line in here. It just looks like it fades in, fades out. So any questions on that? How we did all that? No questions? We're all good? Okay, so I'm just going to save this just for the heck of it. Make sure you save your general files. If you don't, they will disappear. If you can export them all day long, but unless you save them, they're not going to. You're going to have to rebuild them. I learned the hard way on that. You know, I may, you got this texture in the background, that footer. May grab a texture for that just while I'm here. Let's see if this works. Artist there gets a little stubborn every once in a while. Won't let you pick that unless you just click on it. It won't change. So let's see that background. Let's do horizontal lines. That doesn't look too bad. There, a little bit of a texture, just a hint. And do a save. And then preview. Okay, there's our theme. We could probably knock this down a little bit, or even turn this into a different color just by choosing our colors a little bit better. But you're not going to be able to, I haven't been able to figure out how to put a gradient on the background here. You can just knock that sidebar out. But for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or so, that's not too bad. You can work with this all you want and get these down. This is probably stacked and pulled a little bit too high, but it's just the perfectionist in me that's looking at it. Okay, any other questions? We're good? So Khaldun was saying that it looks like many of the advanced options are disabled in the home version. For artist ear, is that what you're saying? So yeah, let me unkey you here. Okay, you're on, Khaldun.
Yeah, I got it.
What's disabled? And I mean.
Okay, for instance, Guy. Okay, go to texture where you are now. Go to texture on the left.
On the left, okay.
Yeah, click on texture.
Mm-hmm.
Now you see where it says texture options there, down there.
Yeah.
And mine is disabled. It's grayed out. I cannot click it. It's not clickable.
Do you have a bunch of textures in here?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay.
But this is not the only one. Many of the other options where you have you go to advanced options at the bottom, and it's also grayed out in mostly all of them, which really sucks. I mean, why would they do that?
Well, this product has been around since I think August or September of last year, and when it first came out, they had the full-blown version. I think it was $99, something like that. A bunch of us got the full-blown version, and they just keep making upgrades, and they've changed it now to where they have the two versions. What is the cost on this? Is it $150 for the full-blown version now, or is it $100? You know?
I tried to go to their website and I cannot see anywhere where it says pricing or anything. If you get the download link, nothing here that says pricing. I can't remember. Yeah.
So the
Let's see.
docs support purchase. So if you do the purchase, we'll see what it looks like. I see it's $129.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, it's a difference between the $50 and $100, so $70 difference. But here's the thing: if you design using the home version and you just feel like you're just getting really limited, then just flip a couple of sites and spend the extra to get the full blown version. Really.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I suppose I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's really it, because I see now that they've broken this down into textures, glares, gradients. You only get partial 50 on the colors and the fonts, where
this should be a bit more explanatory on the sales page, because when you look at it, for instance, for me, I say Joomla, no. Drupal, why would I? ASP.NET, I don't need it.
Yeah.
They should really explain a bit more.
Yeah, they haven't been the greatest on their customer support and explaining the product. I mean, we kind of learned it on our own, and that was we just kind of fell across it. But in working with it the last year, it's changed considerably. The product that's out now is so much more advanced than the product they launched August of last year. It's just a night and day difference.
Yeah. On the whole, I think it's a fantastic product. On the whole.
Yeah. So I didn't, because I've never had the home version, I just didn't realize. So a lot of these, like the sheets and things like that, they're just grayed out, huh? They're just not.
Yeah, they're all grayed out. Yeah.
Well, like you say,
I'll just have to sell more sites and
there you go.
Buy
sell more sites.
The full version. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Calhoun. Thanks, man.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Any other questions, concerns? I don't know what the home version has. We figured out the CSS templates. You may be able to go on the CSS templates too and really change some things around. But again, when you're in the template in the CSS version, do it on a test website and copy it over to Notepad so that you can always get back to baseline. So in case it messes, you mess it up. Colors, things like that. You can always use your the Pixie. I do that quite a bit. Just fire your Pixie, and if you want to change the colors, all you have to do is just hover over the color, and it will pick the color that your cursor is over, and it will save that in hex, which is machine talk basically. So it saves it if you were to do this in Notepad, that whatever that color was. See, it saves it in the hexadecimal version. So if you can save it in hex, save your colors, in Notepad, and then go into CSS style sheet and see if you can change some of these around. Obviously, and that is if you don't want to spend the extra $70 between the home version and the professional version, $129. Okay, but I'm not sure what the home version has. It's grayed out, but you can still do a lot of these techniques outside of Artistry, and then the gradients, the backgrounds, and things like that. You can always develop the gradient backgrounds in RealDraw Pro and then import them in. Okay, questions, concerns, comments? We're all. Is anyone having any issues at all on doing the multiple images in RealDraw Pro, understanding how we do that, how we blend them together? So you put the multiple objects together. So on this, I'm just going to group the text together, so I don't have to be messing around with a bunch of text. So we have the multiple elements. So how I broke this down was simply here is the first element. That is your canvas. That's what you're working with. Now, the next element, because I didn't want any white showing through, I just basically grabbed an element off the side here, which is to add the rectangle, and made it black. And then just simply fit that, on the canvas. Now, we can, send those to the back, push them out to the front. So, you can take and get your elements in different areas, so you can basically stack them. Now, the next one we brought in, so let's go ahead and take this all the way to the back. So we brought in the face. Now, remember, the face is, we changed this because we didn't want it to be, we wanted it to basically fade. So there's the full-blown face. Now you see the hard lines on the side. So we want to kind of cause this to be a gradient. How we do that, very simply, is on the transparency section, just choose, whatever you want down here, the linear out to the side, and then you've got a slider that you can change to very faded to not so faded. And then we're just going to grab this element and move it onto the work area. See a little bit of white showing through there. That's what you have to be careful of. So we just use our arrows to cover that up. Take and move this over. And see, it blends right in. Now, our background image, again, was another one of those fades from being completely, linear. We've got all the lines here. We wanted to just fade it out, cause it to blend. And we did that very easily, again, with the sliders. So you can slide these and make it even lighter or darker, or you can cause this gradient to be closer out to the edges when the computer catches up here. Let's cache this. There we go, it's back. So you can see that it doesn't have to fit perfectly. Just fit it on the canvas somewhere. And then our text would be on top, so we want to make sure that that's not shoved to the back. We can put it in the back. Make sure that that is also on the top and ready to go. Now, if you get lost on your layers, here's a great way that you can use to find your layers again. So you don't know what layer you're on or what object. On the outline, there's a box here called Layers. This will give you a rectangle. That's the black rectangle, and then your bitmap. See, when you choose it, see how the object itself is highlighted with the little squares around it, the little orange dots. So every time that you choose an object, see the group is the text, rectangle, see the black rectangle, again the bitmap, the hacker, the keyboard, and the group, which is the text. So you can choose it very easily over here. Plus you can also use these little boxes to moving forward, send them to the back, whatever you like to do. Does the same exact process as these down here. So you send it to the back, bring it to the front. So you can layer your objects very easily doing that. So that's our header. I'm going to save this. Now, we saved it in JPEG. If JPEG combines all the elements together, so if you want to save this in a format that you can edit later on, you can save it in Real Draw format, which is Save As. It uses its own extension, and see the RDW in here. We're going to just name this Hacker Header and save it. And what will happen is that we'll save it so that we can add more elements or take out elements so that it's editable. Okay, very, very easy to do. Now, I'm going to show you a couple more elements here to combine, and you can create even better graphics or different graphics, let's say. So let's choose another object, and on this, let's say we were doing something that's along the lines of exercise or weight loss. Weight loss is even better. Weight loss is big. So if you had a PLR product for weight loss, want to return everything to our default. Any other questions before we go on? I want to make sure that I'm covering everything so that you guys get it. I don't want you to not understand what we're dealing with here. Everyone understands? Okay. So on this, let's just go with another header. So let's just pick, like say, 850 by 250. Now I'm going to bring an element in that was off of a, well, let's actually just go off and let's just grab it here. This is a WordPress. I do this all the time because they're free images. In fact, I just built a template using this method I'm about to show you. So got here to WordPress themes and go to the general. Oh, here's a nice little earth that just popped up, little world. Take a look at that. You know, you just, while you're here and you find some decent backgrounds, not so great. Let's see what the background looks like. View background image. Okay. Let's, I think this was sport. Here's one of my themes I absolutely love. I showed you this one earlier, this purple background and the ball. You could just do so much with that, and it's such a powerful background. And so, but we're going to grab a exercise, Pilates, yoga mats, something like that. I've got an image in mind. I'm pretty sure it's on this site. Yeah, here it is right here. So here's the image, and we're just going to view the background image. So we've got this fitness club, yoga, Pilates, meditation, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to save this image, save it down into our, wherever you keep your photos. Keep in mind, too, these images take up a lot of space. A lot of them are really big images. I'm going to call this Pilates header. Okay, on RealDraw Pro, I'm just going to grab that image and here it is right here. Let's just take it out to 100%, see how big it is. 909, that's not too bad. Let's just go ahead and trim the canvas out to that. I think that'll work just fine. Now, this is going to be my background. This is not going to be my main image. So what I want to do here is I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of transparency on it. And let's just fade it out to to the edges. That looks pretty good. Now let's grab another image I have on here, which is a scale. Okay, where is the scale? Just saw it here a few days ago. Here it is. It's a pretty big image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this down a little bit. This would make a great background image also. But let's see how this will kind of work in here. I'm going to put a transparency on this also. See how light that is? And let's bring it up a little bit. Actually, on this guy, I think what we're going to do is I'm going to do linear. Come on. Still doing something. It's caching, or I can't grab it. There we go. The linear's not. See, I don't want to completely obliterate the other group. Okay, one little deal here with this is if you bring your images down on RealDraw Pro too much, they will pop and they'll just jump back up. So don't worry about it. It's not you. It's the way that RealDraw Pro acts. All right, let's take this to the back. Move this to the front. There we go. That's looking more like it. See how you can get caught up in this stuff so easily, messing around with these things. Let's I think we just had linear. Let's try this. That's too light, I think. Just going to have to see how that changes it? Changes it from the sides over here. It's darker on the left and makes it darker on the right. That's exactly what I wanted to do, is move it out here to the side. So if you lose your little marker, just hit it right here. That will edit the transparency. So let's see how this works. And let's bring this up a little bit more. Okay, so we see a little bit of a scale here just in the background. Let's see how this is going to look when we export it. So we see a little bit of a scale. That's all we want. We just want a hint of it. And then we can drop in our text. Let's just use Broadway. I think that works really well. Take it up a little bit. So you got to figure out where that will go. You don't want to cut off anybody's head, so you want to drop it down. So I think because we have fitness in here too, I don't want to cause that to be covered up. So weight loss, fitness, the scale, and then we've got yoga, Pilates, meditation up here. So let's see what color will work for this. We do a light blue. That's very nice. Let's set it off here with a drop shadow. And let's just copy it. Paste it. That gives it a little more depth. See, it's not going to take away from the overall header. It really fits in there as we combine the images. So we have one image with the scale and the weight loss. So I think this works pretty well. We can go ahead and export this weight loss. It's all. I think that works really well. And I want to save it. And then when you bring it into, Artist here, you want to choose a nice light blue overall color scheme. So again, start out here with new. Whenever this guy decides to cache. And you can choose, whatever ideas that you want to. So you can go ahead and choose your themes or whatever you want. Come on. There we go. Maybe hitting the computer too hard here. It's too many big programs running. Keep in mind too, graphics programs take a lot of memory, so you need to have you can't have a bunch of windows open like I have a tendency to do and run a whole lot of graphics. So if you want to change your design, you can look for a blue design with a big header. You're going to drop that header in on something. It'd be light blue. Look at the next one that came up. So I don't like the text on it too much, but let's just go with the overall general theme. So let's grab the header. Which is going to be weight loss. What did I do with it? I thought I saved it out in Photos, but I may not have. Yeah, I put it out there. Oh, it's over on the external drive. That's where it is. Sorry about that. Want to resize. Get rid of that this header. Get rid of the navigation. Look at that white around there. That just really sets that header off. Now, for this, I would probably do something like I would build out a background that would be maybe along the lines of like a blue with something in here that would be light blue. I'm not liking this background too much. We're kind of running out of time here, so I gotta cut to the chase. I'm getting some. I'm getting these videos way too long. I don't want to have you guys watching them. They're already 2 hours, but I think that this works really well. I don't like the text, so I would change that. Colors and fonts. Go over here to font sets. Let's pick something that's a little bit larger. Looks a little bit easier. Senda Grande. Let's take a look at that. No, not too much. Verdane at home is a good standby. And then just scale it up to about 120. I think that works. I think we're good there. RSS, text padding, a little bit thinner on the footer, and a gradient on it I think will work. There we go. Let's just see on the top offset without an offset how it looks. I think it looks okay that way. Now I like to fix again. I like to fix my background. So let's see if this background will fix. Some of them won't. So it won't fix. So let's go with a simple background or a texture background. I think this will fix. Do a gradient on it. Yeah, it looks a little bit nicer. Yeah, we can do a fix on it. Now, I don't know in the home version if you can do that. Hopefully you can. But there we can scroll. I would work with the background a little bit more. Maybe do a block. Very simply do a just like I showed you initially, 300 by 300 to do maybe yoga on it or something else. But see that weight loss is down here that just kind of jumps off the page when you look at it. But when you first look at the site, see there's nothing that really detracts from the overall theme of blue and light blue, aqua blue, and white. And of course, dates, get rid of the telltale blog stuff. We want our sites to look like HTML sites, but we want to have the advantages of WordPress without making it look like a blog. But see, you've got the scale there that it doesn't jump off the page. It's just fades in. We can read the fitness club. We can read the weight loss, and just the light blue. I think that works really well for this particular theme. I usually, as a general rule, on my sheets, I go for my padding all the way out to the edges. But I think this white outline really looks good on this particular sheet. So, see, not a whole lot of graphics here. We just grabbed the main graphic off of WordPress, so there's no problem with grabbing this graphic. The scale I got off of a Google search for weight loss, and it was you may have some problems with that copyrighted image. It was not copyrighted. It was on another blog, and I've seen this this image numerous times. I don't usually go grab these off of Google unless I've seen them around a while, and they don't have any stamps on them or anything for my stock photo or anything like that. But you still have to be careful. But that's faded out, so it's not jumping off the page at you. So it's just a portion of the image. And then we just dropped in a little bit of a header in here and dropped in some text, dropped a little bit of shadow on it, and put two images. We could make this look have a little bit more depth by just adding a third image. There's two images stacked on top of one another here with the drop shadow. So very easy to do. Okay, that's pretty much it for today. We've got about 5 minutes left for any questions. But does anyone have any questions on how you combine multiple images in RealDraw Pro to create these effects? You can create backgrounds. You can create headers. You can just do just a number of different things. It's a matter of taking the images, and again, it's a matter of practicing. Any questions? Questions, because we've got an assignment this week. So if you have any questions, now's the time to ask. No questions? Okay. So what I'd like you guys to do is just create a simple theme and a header. You can leave the background. You can do an artist or background. It doesn't matter. But I'd like you to do a custom header with multiple images. So you can do WordPress theme and grab a header image and then combine it with 2 or 3 more images to create a multiple image header. PLR product works great. Oh, before I forget, if you have Photoshop, here is a great way to grab PLR material. So I think many of you know this already. If you don't have Photoshop, then please don't go out and buy it for this. It's not worth it. It's hundreds of dollars for that program. But let's just say, PLR products are just grabbing something here. CPA, I think, design, images. Yeah, okay, there's the JPEG. I think she has source on here. So, yeah, there's the source. Okay, so on Photoshop, you can grab the source PSDs and strip the images out. I'm not going to go into all the ins and outs of Photoshop because this class is not about Photoshop. But if you have Photoshop and you know how to do this, it makes it pretty easy to grab images out of other products. Bring this up here and show you. I'm not sure what is involved in this. I don't remember this PLR product. But some of the graphics on the PLR products is beautiful. And they're all, if it's a PLR product, you can use the graphics because there is no copyright on those graphics, especially for a PLR product. Okay, so you can see these images in here. Here's the money in the car. And how you can do this in Photoshop is essentially, you can see the different, here's layer 2, layer 1, and the shape. So each one of these, if you click on it, it disappears. That's the layer 1 is the car. So see, you click on it, and cash is probably, there's make cash. Layer 2, there's the money. So you can strip these out and save them down as images, and then you can use these images and combine them into your elements if you want to do that. It's strictly up to you. But if you take a look at some of these PLR products, this is how graphics guys put these things together. You can see this is layer 1. There's the car. So the car just dropped in the corner, dropped the money in, and layered it behind. CPA cash, just a red with a probably did a slider on here to make it light on top and dark on the bottom, and then just simple text underneath. It's the same width as a CPA cash in white lettering, and then just put a red bar at the bottom. You can do the same thing using RealDraw Pro, just combining images, and it's a whole heck of a lot less expensive, $55 versus the, I think, $800 for Photoshop full-blown version. Okay, so next week header or simple background with multiple images. So you've got that's multiple images or 2 or more, and you know how to put these together now. So you guys want to contact me during next week if you're having problems. Please do so, and we'll go over this. But make sure you watch the video first. So I don't want you asking me the same questions that I covered on the video. We didn't have very many questions this session, so you're either getting it or you're not asking questions. I want you to get this because this is very easy to do. All of you guys in this call can certainly do this and create world-class graphics. Not difficult at all to do. Okay, we're out of time. Any other last-minute questions? I'm going to end-key everybody. So I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving too. I'm sorry for not mentioning that earlier. Okay, everyone. Next Tuesday for class, I'll put the class assignment out on the website. Please download the import graphic so that you can set up your desktop in RealDraw Pro correctly. If you're having any problems with Artistry or RealDraw Pro, please PM me. Okay, till next Tuesday, everyone have a great week, and if you're fast trackers, we'll talk to you on Thursday for fast track. Got some neat stuff to share for fast trackers.
Okay. Thank you, guys. See you Thursday.
See everyone next week or Thursday.